All right, welcome everyone to the Aristocrats Soccer Podcast. Today we are joined by Marion Cole, who is our media relations manager with the Greenville Triumph. That's who we play for, Greenville Triumph. We are doing a weekly segment with the Triumph. It's called 11 Questions. We've had 30 staff and players and coaches on so far. I'm lucky number 30. And Marion is going to be asking the questions. This 11 Questions is sponsored by Piedmont Natural Gas. So Marion, welcome to our little shortened episode we have here today. And whenever you're ready, you can start this 11 questions. I'm really excited.
Thanks for having me, guys. Okay, so we have 10 questions, like you said, and then your 11th question is actually from your teammate, Brandon Fricky. We'll get to that obviously last. So let's get started. Jake, if you had a podcast, what would it be about and why? Literally, that's the first question. That's the first question. I've been waiting for this one. For this first question.
So when this first came out during the quarantine, it was maybe May or April, the first guest, and I laughed at it and I was like, I don't know what I'll say for that question. But now here we are, 6 months later. I actually have a podcast. Aristocrats Soccer Podcast. Look us up, Spotify, all the good stuff. Apple Podcast, YouTube.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, all the other good stuff. And Dave and I, my co-host, Dave Harris, we just decided we love the game. Dave is my unofficial agent, calls himself an advocate. And we talk soccer all the time, and we're like, we might as well just get together, film it, and bring some great guests on. So I have a podcast, so there's no ifs. It's a reality.
So what's been your favorite part about hosting a podcast, or has there been things that have surprised you about hosting that are more difficult than you thought, or is it pretty much just exactly what you thought it would be?
It's a lot cooler than I thought it would be. I don't know. It might wear off very quickly. I don't know. Hopefully not, Dave.
I won't. It won't. The getting to know the players that we've gotten to speak with, the people getting their stories and getting them out. It's been it's something that I think, knowing that Jake's such a fan of the game, I think it's going to continue to be something he really enjoys doing for a long time. I think I've been doing it for a long time and I really enjoy it a lot. So
yeah.
So basically, we found your calling, your second calling.
Yeah, when I'm done playing, hopefully not too soon.
He is very good at it too. That for me, that's been one surprise. Is I thought Jake would be good at it, but he's actually very good at it. And when I listen to the podcast myself, then I really get to hear Jake's questions in more detail. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to ask next, and he's actually really good at it. So,
wow, thanks, Dave. You're flattering. You're flattering me. He's normally not this nice.
Being honest.
But yeah,
so his best behavior.
My favorite part about it really is just the cool guests that we brought on so far. We've had Sofia Huerta, who has played with the national team, both the U.S. and Mexico. We've had, well, I guess I can say it, Paul Bravo will be on. By the time this airs, Paul Bravo will be one of our guests. We've had Matt Hedges, and we've had two of my Canadian teammates in Edmonton. And it's just great because even if the guys I played with in Canada, you hear their stories. When you're playing with them a little bit, you get pieces, but it's more just small talk unless you're a roommate and unless you're on the road talking to them every day. But with these podcasts, I kind of got the full story, things they thought while we were playing together, things they grew up on. And it's just the story of the athlete is really cool to me.
Yeah, no, it's been really cool. You had already such a good host of guests. I can't wait to see who you guys bring on later. All right, second question. We'll move on. How do you decompress after a long week of work or training?
This is slightly less funny.
Okay.
I really if it's a Sunday after and during football season, I'll watch some football, maybe watch the Premier League, just watch some TV shows, maybe go out by the pool, read a book. I hikes occasionally, but it's really nothing crazy that I do. It's just hang out, basically do nothing. Hang out with my girlfriend when she's here, and that's pretty much it.
So you're pretty even kill on the weekends. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
What's the most memorable meal you've ever had, and why?
He's not a big eater.
I eat a lot. It's just healthy.
So this answer is going to be boring, is what you're telling me.
No, it's not going to be boring. I don't think it's boring. I hope it won't be boring. So it's not necessarily because of the food. I couldn't think of one for the food. But so I'm in Barcelona with my girlfriend Caroline. It was one of the first times that we knew each other in high school, but it was one of the first times we reconnected. It was in Barcelona, so it was cool. It's kind of like a 5-day
casual
date trip. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So I think it was the first night or the second night. Probably the nicest restaurant we went to the whole time we were in Barcelona. There's like a 30-minute wait, so we're sitting outside. Like they have like heated space heaters, and there's like seating outside, but you're not getting served. So we're sitting outside. She has a backpack like in between her legs, and this whole time, like leading up to the trip, my friends were telling me like, be careful of pickpocketers. Her friends are telling her, be careful of pickpocketers, and we're like, yeah, we got it. Like
her friends are telling her, be careful of Jake.
Now he's back. Dave's back.
I love this guy.
I would agree with you if we didn't know each other since we were 15, but yes, I will. If it was a random trip to Europe with some guy, I'll buy that.
It was just a random trip to Europe with Jake.
Yes. So anyway, we're sitting at this table, we're talking, obviously probably deep conversation, just by getting to know each other, reacquainted, I guess you could say. And there's a guy that walks in, there's other people around as well, and there's a guy that walks in front of me, and he drops his phone, and I'm facing him, she's kind of facing away because she doesn't see him as much, and drops his phone, and I'm like, hey, your phone, you drop. It was like an obvious drop, like looking back, it was obvious, you did it on purpose. And as I'm looking that way, she has the backpack between her legs, a guy comes from behind her and snatches the backpack and runs. And like I'm still like kind of looking at this other guy, but she like bolted straight away. She was like, give me that back. She was like, give me that back. And I like, as she screamed, I think she probably screamed like, hey, or something like that. As she screamed, I then like got up. She like sprinted straight away. She was,
and the girl can run. We've taken a workout class. Yeah, she can run.
She's an athlete. She played soccer, ran a marathon, all that. So she gets up and like sprints after him. I'm chasing behind her, and the guy like maybe 20 yards down, he just dropped. It was an old guy, so he dropped the backpack and just left. So I think what they do is if you don't see them, they take it. If you notice, then they just leave it because they don't want to fight or anything like that. But I don't know what would have happened if the guy ended up being like had a weapon. Like what would have, that was kind of scary. But
I thought you were gonna tell me she tackled him. Like I thought that's where that was going.
She was going to. She was full speed. She was about to catch the guy, and the guy just dropped the backpack and left. And she stayed with the backpack. But yeah, anyway, the meal part of it, we eventually got into the restaurant. We had some, I think it was like paella and what's the other, tapas, the Spanish tapas.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really good food. Excellent Spanish. Carlos will tell you all about it. But yeah, good food. But it was more for the memory of the thing.
Yeah, and that's not even like a pickpocket. That's like just a pure like robbery almost, like a pure mugging.
Yeah, and it was what's the one with the movie with Will Smith? You tap him here, we take it here. You tap her here. It's have you seen that? It's
I'm not big in the movie.
With what's the blonde girl? What's her name?
Oh, that blonde one, yeah.
No, like the one that everybody loves.
Which movie?
It's Will Smith is in it. It's like they're thieves and okay. Well, thanks.
Cameron Diaz?
No. It's just the new one. She's in Wolf of Wall Street.
Jake said the blonde girl that everyone loves.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, Margot Robbie. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. My husband absolutely adores her. Like
yeah, every guy does. She's okay. Well, it's not my answer to number 10 or whatever 9 at this.
I was gonna say it was Noah's though. No, that's what Noah answered. Noah said if he could have any celebrity at a game, it would be her, just to look at her.
That's fair. I would. Yeah, that's a good answer.
Okay, so what's the most? I don't know if that's the most nervous you've ever been, but if it's not, what was the most nervous you've ever been?
No, I didn't have time to be nervous there. I was just like, damn. You're a badass. Okay, let's move
go,
on.
Caroline.
I was cheering her on. I was like, "You got this, girl." Most nervous I've ever been. I I was best man at a wedding. My friend from college wedding, Tommy Klim, I'll give him his name on the podcast. So we have a very, like, we played soccer together at Binghamton. We have a great relationship, really close. I have a million stories I could tell about him. But what I was nervous about was like, and I talked to people beforehand because like I wrote the speech and like, public speaking isn't bad for me. I'm fine. But it was more is it okay to tell this story with grandma and grandpa? Is this story? And so I was kind of like, I wanted it to be funny, but I also didn't want like grandma.
Call him out too bad.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell certain stories. So I got a few of the other guys that we were close together. I kind of got them to proofread it, make sure it's okay. But then once the actual speech started rolling, I wasn't too nervous, but I didn't want to ruffle too many feathers on his wedding day.
I had to, watching Hunter give his brother's best man speech, I think he was more nervous doing that than proposing to me, to be completely honest. I don't know if that's like a red flag that I need to like ask again, but maybe
you just knew the answer. You knew you were going to say yes.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we're going back to food. All right, if you're up at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night, what are you eating? And don't give me I'm never up at 2 a.m. Just make something up.
That has been the answer to I think every single one I've read so far. I'm never up at 2 a.m. But okay, I've given this some thought. I didn't want to be the same. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
So I'll let you know when I'm up at 2 a.m.
Okay.
Which is only after a game.
Okay.
I can rarely sleep directly after a game, unfortunately. Just kind of the adrenaline from the game. So after the game, I have to have something sweet when I'm still up at that time. So it'll be, if it was a good game and I'm like feeling really motivated for the next week, it'll be like fruit or grapes or berries. And if I just like missed a sitter, it might be some chocolate or ice cream or something like that. Just like,
I bet you have like 3 spoonfuls, then you put it down.
Yeah, but those 3 spoonfuls are pretty big for me. It's a big step.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the healthiest
answer
we've had, for sure.
Dave, what's your
healthiest answer?
What's your late night snack? No, what's your late night snack? Okay. I'm Marion. What are your go-tos?
Dave, you got it.
Oh, whatever we have here in the house, like that's fun to eat. Lately, we've been going to a lot of like farms, so like pies. We have like apple cider donuts, like farm stands, things like that. So
I'm a big cereal gal. Like,
yeah.
It's bad. Like I can't even buy the boxes anymore. It's really bad.
Cereal's a good go-to. It's a great late night snack.
True. Okay, what is something you learned recently that blew your mind?
Okay.
It's a hard one.
Okay, I've been saving this one, and I was hoping that no one would use it. So it's not really recent, but it was since this series came out. I knew my answer for this question. But so studies have shown that on daylight savings, spring forward, or in the spring, whatever, since you lose an hour of sleep, heart attack increased by 24%. During that Monday after daylight savings, when people lose the hour of sleep, they go to work. On that Monday morning, heart attacks increase by 24% over like an average day. And also,
that's wild.
There was also a Swedish study that in the 3 days, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after daylight savings, heart attacks increase and also car accidents increase because just
everyone's tired.
Everybody's tired. So what does that mean?
So we need to get rid of it.
What does that mean to me?
Is that really the reason though?
What's that?
Is that really the reason?
I don't know. Dave is in the medical field, so he's gonna not like my answer maybe, but
I'm gonna analyze the death. That's what we do.
But I think it has something to do with it because I think a lot of times we rely on doctors to kind of solve our problems in a lot of cases, and that's great. But I think we also have a personal responsibility to look after ourselves, which means eating right, getting enough sleep, and I think that really helps your overall health. So yeah, I would think it plays a small role. But
on average, how many hours of sleep do you get a night?
12.
8 or 9.
He said 12.
Not me, Jake. You can't talk to Jake after like 7 p.m. at night unless it's like a special podcast edition where like it's the only time we can get a guest. Other than that, he's off the grid.
No, we had a re-air of one of our games during quarantine, and we made Jake and Omar like live tweet during the game. And I swear to you, Jake fell asleep in the second half.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing. He had like 3 tweets that were great in the first half, and then all of a sudden just radio silence.
He also doesn't like Twitter, so Twitter's like his enemy. So
I'm a big Instagram guy, but not Twitter.
Not Twitter.
I vibe with that. All right, but how many hours of sleep would you say you get?
I would say between 8 and 9. If we train, I'll nap like half-hour nap during the day.
Yeah. Are you a nap proponent? My husband is totally not, and I think that they're the best things ever.
I think they're the best things ever.
Okay.
But within reason. Like if you nap like 2 hours, then that's
come on.
Get your life together. But 30 minutes, I feel like I just slept a night after 30 minutes.
No, yeah.
So
you just feel great.
What is Hunter thinking? What is Hunter thinking?
He is one of these like if he's not doing something.
Job.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
No,
he doesn't. No, he's a minor league baseball player.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
I would think with the double headers and everything, perfect 30-minute nap in between.
I know. No, nothing. I'd be asleep literally constantly, especially like if I have to wake up at the field. If I get home at 1 a.m. and I have to be at the field the next day at 2 p.m., like best believe I want to wake up at a decent time, get my breakfast in, mid-morning snooze, then go to the field. Like I'm there. Anyway.
I'm with you.
So, but thanks for trying to bail him out on that, Dave. I'll let him know someone's on his side.
Like the concept of naps is so foreign to me. Like I'd love to be able to nap, but like I'm, usually I've been like non-pandemic. I'm in an office or a meeting. I'm not anywhere near a bed unless it's like
when we used to go into the office, I would literally like put like a towel over my cubicle and nap under the desk. Seriously, can't do it.
Well, I'll tell you some work in soccer.
So we're announcing that we're bringing a celebrity to our next match, and you have some time to say hello. Who is the celebrity you're most excited to have?
I don't have a good answer to this one. I'm sorry. I thought about it because I don't really. I should have went with the Noah answer, just like pick like Margot Robbie or something, just to look at her and say hi. But I went. My thought process was, I'm just saying hello to the person.
Yeah.
So
fair.
So it's like if it's a dinner, that's a different conversation. Like, can you pick their brain, like have a real conversation? If it's just hello, like I don't really care about meeting that celebrity. I just don't. So what I went with Beckham because he owns Inter Miami or part owner in Miami. We have the second team here. We could get like, obviously would sell out Legacy in a normal year, maybe even sell out like Clemson football stadium. It would really help. I don't know if you could get him here, but I was thinking get him here, do a bobblehead night since we seem to love bobblehead nights so much. And
am I getting my bobblehead too, by the way?
I have not received any Dallas J bobbleheads, but I will.
Me neither. So let me know if you get one.
I'll be on the lookout for that.
I'm gonna have to go onto eBay, I guess, and get like I went into eBay to get a Harks bobblehead.
No, I still have your extra John Harks bobblehead.
I got one now, so
yeah.
Wait, they were selling them on eBay?
Yeah.
I
found one on eBay for like. It was less than $20. So
that looks great for the club.
I figured if we have him on the show, it'd be fun to like send a picture of it out. So
I appreciate that thought process though. Like you want something good for the club. That was a good answer. That was a good answer. All right. So what's the most memorable sports moment you've had as a fan?
Okay. Are you a Falcons fan?
No, but I love football.
Okay. My favorite moment. So I'm a big Brady fan. I'm not a Patriot fan per se, but a big Tom Brady fan. I just like his healthy lifestyle. I've been to his like TB12 clinic, and just in Foxborough, like with his Alex Guerrero, the guy, did some sessions with him.
Oh, that's so cool.
I just love Brady. That was like my first football game that I really got into was the tuck rule game in his first playoff run. So I've been a big Brady fan since that time. So my favorite memory was against the Falcons in the Super Bowl when they were down 28-3. I was at like some Super Bowl party, typical, and everybody there was like doing other stuff, like game's over, let's turn it off. Like girls were like watch The Bachelor, like whatever was on, you know what I mean? And I was like, no, no, we're finishing this game. It's not over. And then 28-9, 28-12, like in 28-12, 28, and they kept scoring. And they came back, and everyone at the party wanted them to lose, and I obviously was overjoyed. So it was very, very fun for me. So
are you a kind of guy that loves an underdog, or are you more of like I love the dynasties, I love the people who are good all the time?
I respect greatness, but I do I think I attached to the underdog, and then like Brady was an underdog at first, and then I don't move off. Like some people loved Brady at like year 1, year 2, and then now hate him because he's won every year. I stick with the guys. Like, for example, this is kind of a spoiler for the last question, but like I'm a big anti-LeBron. Like I don't like LeBron, so I was always rooting for the teams that were playing against him, and the Warriors happened to be that team a lot of the time. So I kind of became a Steph and Clay fan through just not liking LeBron. which kind of weirdly makes me a front runner. I mean, I'm a Knicks fan, so I don't have a dog in the fight. We play in the development league, so like. We play in the minor leagues of the NBA. So, but like, I mean, I stick to the New York teams for the most part, but I have players that I really, and dynasties that I really respect. So
that's fair. Okay. So what sporting event have you always wanted to go to, and why? Is it something in New York?
No, I mean, it could be in New York, the World Cup final 2026. Get it at MetLife. Well, that's New Jersey. So
close enough.
Let's build a stadium in New York. Come on.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the time right now, but
so we don't have to keep. Yeah, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday. It's got to be the World Cup final. There's a bunch on the list, like World Cup final, Wimbledon, Super Bowl, things like that. But it's got to be the World Cup final. There's really no event anywhere that compares.
World Cup over Champions League.
Ooh.
Yes. Well, it depends on who's playing. But my perfect sporting event, the U.S. would be playing in the World Cup final, and therefore it would be the World Cup final. Hopefully the U.S. against
not in your lifetime,
hopefully the U.S. against like Azerbaijan, so they can win. But but no, like the U.S. have a lot of good young players coming through the system, so hopefully this kind of crop of players can make that a possibility. Like not too long ago, it didn't look like it could ever happen, but maybe we'll see.
There's hope. Hope.
Might have to live to be 104. I have to get enough sleep and eat enough the right vegetables and everything. But
with your lifestyle, I think you probably will. Yeah. So if you're part of a PK lineup, what number are you taking your penalty?
I don't really care. I'd like to take one, but
I knew that you would answer this with something like of that attitude.
I don't care. Like I've taken, like I'm trying to think back. Like I've been in a few penalty shootouts. I think I've always been around like 2, 3, 4. It was always with Galway, and I scored all of them.
By the way,
what's that?
You missed the big one, by the way.
I was just bringing that up. Like I made the first 2 that we had, and then in the final I missed one. I think I was in the final. I want to say second. So maybe I'll go with third this time, just to be a little different. I still have nightmares about that. We were like, could have been our first like trophy in, I think it was since like 91, and we were in the final. It was at home.
No.
I mean, it was a big one. It was very depressing. So.
And I was following it on Twitter, and I'm following it, and I'm like, oh, come on. Knucklehead that I told Tommy Dunn would never let him down. He misses the PK in the final.
It was real fun.
Good job, Jade.
In my defense, I did score in the shootout in the semifinal. I don't know if I get any points for that, but
yeah, you get some.
But no, it was not a good night. I guess I'll go. I'd still like to take one though. I'd want, if we are in the shootout in the final, I'd like to take one.
Hopefully,
the order. We can let John decide the order. I don't really care.
You can't go 5 though.
Why?
Well, like that. Remember that happened with Portugal in one of the and Ronaldo didn't get to shoot.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the dream scenario. You don't get to shoot, and your team already won. So.
Yeah.
No, they lost. I think.
Oh, was it a United shootout then? Who was it?
No, it was with Portugal. It was in one of the Euro games or whatever. Like I forget, not the last one, the one before or something. And they got knocked out because the first couple guys missed, so there weren't more than 4 kicks.
Yeah. Well, Ronaldo just wants to go 5. He just wants to go 5 for the glory. So
yeah.
he did that.
Did you say Alex?
No, Ronaldo just wants to go 5 for the glory. Not Alex.
I thought you said Morel, and I was like, really? Are you sure?
No. Morel, I'm sure would want to take one, but he's good at penalties. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
All right, last question. One that you already alluded to. A debate for the ages. This is from Brandon Fricky, your teammate. Who is the greatest of all time, LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
Okay. This does not take much thought. The answer is Jordan. There's really only one answer. There's a million different ways to put it. But I think the one thing that makes me like Jordan over LeBron is just his mentality. When like in the 90s, no one could beat him. And the one time anybody beat him was the Magic. And he was obsessed that whole summer, just beating the Magic, winning the NBA championship after that year that he retired. And came back, swept the Magic the following year. And I think a lot of times, like LeBron has had a ton of success. I think he's probably second in the basketball world in terms of greatest, but so many times he's faced a challenge, and instead of facing it head on, he's a smart guy. So he finds a different solution. He's like, oh, let me team up with Wade, or let me go with Anthony Davis, or let me go, like he finds solutions. So he is great, and he's very smart. He's a very good businessman. But purely as an athlete, I want a guy who's just like, I am beating you no matter what. And that's it. And I think the one point that I think if you ask even Evan this, the biggest LeBron fan in the world, if you had Evan Lee is the biggest LeBron, Evan and Omar, biggest LeBron's fans. I mean, the one question I would ask is, if you had a game for your life and LeBron is representing you, and there's the team has the same 4 players, both teams. One team has LeBron, one team has Jordan, and they're playing against whoever, the Warriors or whoever you want them to play. Do you honestly want LeBron? Because I guarantee you, he's going to brick 2 free throws in the final minute, and you're going to be dead. So
no, that is honestly, that's the best scenario that I've ever heard someone put it as. Like, look, it really just comes down to if head to head, because that's exactly what it'd be. It would be LeBron James versus Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Your life is on the line.
Yeah.
Now make the decision. Yeah. No,
Are you picking? There's too many times where LeBron in big moments he's either disappeared or just not performed, and I'd go down with Jordan. That's the last bet.
Yeah. All right, last one. So that was your last question, and this next week I'm chatting with head coach John Harkes. Gave you a good one. What would you like me to ask Harksy?
This is a good one, but it's also a lot of pressure. I might have to change my answer to number 3 or 4. Most nervous you've ever been to
because this is it.
This is my moment.
I'm ready.
So the first question is, will you be a guest on our podcast? That's not my real question. That's just the initial question. The second question is, there's a million things we could ask John about his career and all that, but Dave said that was too boring, so we're going to go away from that. I want to know, he's a big Liverpool fan. For those who don't know, John's a big Liverpool fan. I want to know how we do like a Premier League predictions at the beginning of the year. He obviously picked Liverpool to win the Prem. We do like Golden Boot, teams that are getting relegated, top 4, all the different stuff. He picked Liverpool to win. I want to know, with the Van Dijk injury, does he still believe that Liverpool will win, or does that change his prediction?
That's a good one. You're going to get him fired up before the final when we need him to be just like super even kill.
I'm going to get myself.
Am I allowed to throw in my Harkes question or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. My Harkes question was how many times during each game does he want to sub himself into the game?
Ooh.
as a former player and as being such a competitor, somewhere in the back of his head, he wants to get out there and just do it.
Yeah, maybe I feel like if you count the number of times he sits down, like he's screaming, and then he just goes to sit down. That's probably the moment when he's just like, I just want to do this. Yeah.
I'm ready. Give me on.
I haven't been able to come to any of the games, but and I was gonna come down for at least one of them. But when we used to go to watch the Cosmos, I used to go to watch the Cosmos because they're right here in New York, and you'd watch Gio Savarese, coaching in Portland now, and during warmups, Gio was dressed like in his playing gear, like he was ready to play, and it's like you could see in the back of his head, like he's just like, damn it, I just want to get out there and freaking do this, like go out and score the goal, or like. So I know Harks is just exactly like that. So I mean, I followed his career from the very beginning, when he played with the U.S.
Yeah, he's a mess. We'll just put it that way.
I think the funny part about him is, like, in the first half, he's into it for sure, and doing all those things. But the last 20 minutes of the game, I think that's when he wants to sub himself on and just like tackle everybody and win. And the last 20 minutes, especially when we're winning 1-0, as happens a lot of the time. He's making challenges over there on the bench,
like twitching.
Clear it.
No, I think that I don't even think he like wants to go make passes, or like I don't even think he wants to score. I think he literally just wants to go tackle some people, honestly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, he would like to score. There was one goal he had that I remember when he was with in England. And
Sheffield Wednesday.
And that was like contender for goal of the season.
Yeah,
it won it. We've actually watched that video in the last 2 years probably 30 times.
Oh yeah.
John doesn't put it on, but
I was like,
John is like, all right, video for today. No, it's not like that.
That's what I was imagining. I was literally imagining him being like, all right, guys, video, like, and then breaking down his own goal.
Yeah, but a lot of times,
actually got him noticed a lot over there, because before that he was just like, oh, the American guy, but then like people, like the English fans, really started to get a lot of respect for him. They're like, wow, he can really play. Look at that goal.
Yeah, we'll do a lot of times when we have a new signing, we'll like get their highlights up on YouTube and we'll go down the rabbit hole. Like last year, I remembered we had Kevin Politz, Cole Seiler, and Paul Klaus, and they all like had great college careers, but they all lost in the national final. So we went back and we watched the highlights of the 3 national finals. Like we like to torture each other, but when we're in that realm, we watch John Hark's English Goal of the Year for sure.
That's funny. That's really funny. Okay, well that was Jake. That was your 11 questions. Thank you for taking the time to do it. I'm excited to get this out and let people know a little bit more about you. Jake tends to be a little more on the reserve side when we talk to him at trainings and stuff. So it's good to see him open up a bit.
It just took the podcast.
Yeah.
So for our podcast, we get to now ask Marion a couple questions.
Oh gosh.
Okay, yes.
No.
Wait, Dave. Let me give you a little background in Marion. I didn't give you.
Why? No.
This can be like 5 minutes max. But Marion played college soccer at the University of Georgia. She was also a goal scorer. I don't have her stats up, but I know she scored a lot of goals at Georgia. Really good player.
Don't pull up my videos.
We'll get her videos. We'll plug her on our Instagram. But yeah, so she's played soccer as well. She does some broadcasting, some USL Championship, SEC broadcasting, and then she is a full-time employee of the Triumph. Well, full-time.
Marion, first question. What led you to working with the Greenville Triumph?
Honestly, just a weird turn of events. So I was like Jake was saying, I did some work for the SEC network and have done a little bit this year with COVID. It's all kind of been whacked, to say the least. But so this was 2 years ago, and I didn't have a background at all in journalism or communications. My degree was in sports management, actually, and it's because I was just going to go play professionally. That was what worked with, having to leave early and all this kind of stuff. And so long story short, that didn't work out. And I came back and I was like, they're like, hey, do you want to do a Georgia soccer game? I was like, yeah, sure. And I got in the booth, absolutely loved it. And I was like, okay, well, how do I make this into a career? And so they're like, why don't you go to grad school and do it as a journalism major? So that's what I did. And the way to pay for my grad school was to be a grad assistant with the university. And so I was probably about like 3 semesters in of 4. And I was like, I am so tired of not having money, to be completely honest. Like, I was like, I am broke. I'm sick of eating canned tuna and apples. And I just start applying for all these, different jobs that would kind of merge broadcasting, but also like more so of the business side of it. Cause I also do like broadcast operations, and I love that side of things. And this was one of the only jobs that actually did both. And so it was, I put in for it, and it was when they were, I think it was like April or so that I put in for it, which was like the start of their first ever season. I get an email from Doug like a month later. It was like, hey, are you interested in like setting up an interview? And I was like, for what? Like, I totally honestly forgot that I applied because I hadn't heard anything from him. And then I had an interview with Doug, had an interview with our team president, and here I am.
There you are. So soccer is a big thing for you. It's not like just it's not just like a sports thing, but that you want to just do sports, but you really do have a big passion for soccer as well.
Oh yeah, I think it's a lot like what Jake was saying. I think so many times, especially in the realm of college athletes, amateurism, this is a whole other thing. Amateurism, it does not even exist anymore. And so I think sometimes college athletes get looked upon as not even people, and then that translates into the professional world. And so if there's something that I can do to make these people seem more like humans to the people that are watching them play, then that's the joy that I get out of it. And I think soccer is one of the greatest sports to be able to do that, because everybody has such different backgrounds of how they got there. And soccer is one of those sports that has a different way. There are so many different avenues to get to the same exact goal as the person next to you. And that makes for some really interesting stories. So that's part of the reason that I love doing this, but also I love doing it in the realm of soccer.
And what about your experience so far with the Triumph have you enjoyed the most? Like, what have been a couple of the best experiences?
Honestly, the team this year, just the energy. Jake, I don't know if you can attest to this, but I feel like just the energy, the overall vibes of this team is just really good, for lack of a better phrase. It's always a happy thing to go out to practice and see these guys and just spend time with them and get an idea of the things that we can do to make their lives easier. And so one of my favorite parts has been kind of bringing that attitude into the front office a little bit more, because sometimes, especially with the new club, you have a lot of people that haven't ever played at a high level. They played high school or something like that, and that was it, but they've always loved sports. And so sometimes there can be a disconnect between what the front office needs and what the players need. And sometimes you need a person to be like, no, yeah, like they only practice from 10 to 12, but they also have to do X, Y, Z. And, then they have to go do this, and then they have this obligation here. And so I've enjoyed bringing a little bit of that, bridging that gap, I guess you could say, or at least trying to help. But my favorite part is definitely going to be when we host the final, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So, and what would you like to do going forward? Would it be in soccer, or would it be in other sports in your career?
I always want to stay in soccer. I want to have my hand, and not to say that I don't want to do other sports, because my ultimate goal is to be on Fox, be on ESPN, in the booth, on the sidelines, in the studio. I honestly want to do it all. And I always say this when I'm pitching myself is, if boomerang was a sport, like I would go learn how to call boomerang, I don't discriminate, but to keep myself happy, I think I would always want a hand in soccer, a foot in soccer somewhere, whether that be in the booth or be, working part-time for a team when I hopefully do move on to bigger and better things. So we'll see, but yeah.
I think you definitely have it in you, Marion. I've had a lot of questions through the years by interviewees, and you are up there for the most insightful. I mean, a lot of times you get
Thank
dumped,
you.
but you got some, especially post match. Like there was times where she'll ask about like a run that I made, and I mean it's because you played that you kind of can recognize those different movements and runs. But I think you got it in you.
Thank
Keep
you.
away.
Yeah, no, well, and that's what like this, you know, if nothing else, and you know, I've talked to Doug about this immensely, is that this is hopefully a stepping stone for me in that kind of a journey, and it's given me an opportunity to get reps on camera, because anytime it's just like podcasting, like anytime you do it, the more reps you can get, the better you are. And sometimes though, that's the hardest thing to do, is finding an opportunity just to get reps on camera or to get reps in an interview and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's definitely been a blessing in disguise, and one that I kind of took on a whim, but hopefully we'll come out of here as League One champs, which maybe I'll get to be the sideline reporter for. So we'll stay tuned on that.
Maybe.
On ESPN Deportes?
No, on English ESPN.
ESPN Deportes.
Oh, isn't it airing on ESPN Deportes?
It is. It's doing both. Yeah, it's doing both.
You know any Spanish?
No. I know "vámonos coño," and that's because my husband plays baseball, and that's what all of his Latin teammates always say. And I still really don't know what that means, but
okay.
You may have just cursed in Spanish on
No,
on
I didn't.
podcast.
I know it's not. I know it's like "Let's go, boy." I think it's "Let's go, boys," or some plural form.
It's okay. We allow cursing on this podcast. It's
it's soccer. You got to show the curse.
You got to show emotion sometimes. Drop an F-bomb here or there.
Yeah, I got thrown out of the game for doing that one time, so maybe not.
Maybe not at the official, but yeah.
You learn.
Yeah, live and learn. Dave, you have any other questions for Marion here?
I think that's about it. Listen, like, you have any interesting experiences or stories that you could share, or anything, you know, from your playing days or from your current gig with Greenville?
I have a lot of interesting teammate stories that don't relate to soccer, but we'll save those for another day. No, honestly, the most interesting thing probably that happened to me is that I was on SportsCenter's top 10, and honestly, it was piss poor defending. Like, it made me, like, it was a nice goal, but it was piss poor defending, and I got absolutely shit on in the comments. It was all just like, how is this girl even on ESPN? like this is just such bad defending. Like, I can't believe those defenders are even like college soccer players. Like, I mean, like, this girl does, like, they were literally attacking me for the poor defending of the other team. But that was honestly pretty much the extent of how cool I am. Georgia was really bad. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Hey, look, you go through, we were really good. We weren't as good as we could be. We fired our coach, thought the grass was greener on the other side. You go through a coaching change, and you go through, you know, the assistant coach that was with us that first year ended up getting fired the next year. And it's just, I mean, when you have changes like that, and when you have people that, you have an array of people that have different goals. Like, I was one of 3 girls that wanted to go play professionally. The rest of them were just like, I'm here for a good time kind of thing. So when you have that kind of a mixture, I mean, it's inevitable that it's going to be hard to get on the same page. So no need to apologize.
Cool.
I had a great experience.
Dave, the good news is we know what we're posting on Instagram and YouTube and all that for this episode. The top 10. It better be on YouTube. Marion Crowder, top 10.
No, I'll have to send you. It may only be, honestly, I don't even know if, because my assistant coach did my highlights, and she just sent me the link, so I don't even know if I think they're on YouTube somewhere, but it would be Marion Crowder.
Yeah. All right. So we'll make a deal. You get the recording of this to transcribe the 11 questions, and you got to find me the top 10 Marion Crowder goal on SportsCenter. Deal?
Okay, fine.
All right, we got to do.
But we have to, you have to post it though, for like, we're only posting this so you can see the comments, because it was bad. I was like, why is this my fault? Like,
we'll give it a both. You can give us the video, and then we'll post also the comments below the video. Okay. If you really want. I mean,
here's a good question. if you were able to find a good advocate for you in terms of helping to find a club, would you still consider a career in professional soccer?
Oh.
I'm fitter than ever, honestly, but I don't. It would take me. I would honestly need to be out there training with the boys to make it. I'm not totally against it, honestly, but I would need enough time to get my touches back, probably. I've taken a hiatus because there's a part of me that was a little salty about it, just because of somewhat of the politics of everything, but also just there's a part of me that feels like I did give up too soon because it was just a little difficult. So I don't know. I'm not totally against it, but I would absolutely have to start training with the Triumph players, like no question.
What was your last season at Georgia? What year?
My last actual season since we play in the fall was 2016, and I graduated in 17.
Okay, so we can get you out there. We have all November. We have nothing to do, so.
Do you have to stay here for November?
I mean, we have like exit meetings and physicals and things like that, but no. I mean, at least not last year. Last year we had to stay like a few days, and then you can leave, you can stay, you can really do whatever you want. But yeah, November 1st, training starts 9 a.m. Is that the Monday after the final?
Jake,
that's the Monday. No. November 2nd. We'll take the weekend. Monday, November 2nd. Training. Because
if we have fun, I am making you. If we win, I'm making you have fun. You're going out. You're having fun.
Everybody has fun in their own ways.
He won't drink a beer. Don't worry about it. You're not gonna go.
No, the first time Jake and I ever were like, oh, we could be friends maybe, was at a whole team event, and you definitely had a glass of wine.
Yeah, I had a broken foot. I was depressed.
Yeah, that's the extent. Jake didn't go out drinking in Ireland, Marion, after winning promotion.
Yes, that's not true. Dave is making stories up. I went
That's
out.
What you told me. I don't know.
I always go out.
I wasn't there.
I have the videos to prove it. I do not drink a lot, but I'm more of a shots guy versus beer. I think beer tastes like shit. I like do shots or wine.
Same. No, same.
I really don't like beer. But yeah, I'll go out. Of course, I'll go out.
All right. Mark this down. Jake just said that he likes shots. I like shots. So if the final happens and you don't get a video of Jake taking a shot with me, something's up. Okay. It's on you. It's on you to call him and get on him, because that means he's not out.
I don't want him going out. I'm his advocate. I want him ready for the next season.
He'll be fine. I will take care of him.
There's money to be made here. He's got to be out there producing.
I think we can give it one night, Dave.
Maybe 1 or 2 drinks. That's it.
Yeah, we'll give it one or two, and then we'll call it.
Jake, do you think is Marion the next case for the advocate?
We'll see how November goes. I'll let you know.
All right. Well, let me know how November goes, and then we'll start working on Marion's career in professional soccer.
Yeah, now we have that connection at Lyon and the OL Reign. So, I mean, we gotta.
I have some teammates still in the NWSL that you guys should connect with. So.
Off air, we'll do some talking.
Yeah.
Yes. We need help with that. It's hard to get the women's guests on. It was a little easy to get the guys, just not from the players, from the front office staff.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't even go. Well,
we're starting to get responses now, but it was hard initially to get, because we want to have a balance.
Yeah,
we
want
to have both players from both leagues, guys and ladies as well, but we started finally getting some now, but responses. So hopefully we'll get some guests. But yeah, we could actually use a bit of help with that. If you know somebody.
Absolutely.
So Jake can maybe get that sorted, and we'll get a couple more good guests on the show, because we want to try and get really good players, as many as we can. Get people going, and then we can kind of slip in some of our friends and people we know that are do interesting things, but people aren't going to be like, wow, until they kind of get into the show and maybe listen to it.
No,
So.
I feel you. I'll drop the names to Jake.
Cool.
There.
All right. Get your training going. We're gonna be shopping you around.
No, you actually need to watch my highlights first to see if you actually think I'm worth the shit. That's what.
I don't go on highlights. I go on stats. I just need to know.
I don't even know if mine are still up. I'm so damn old.
I need Harks and Jake and 1 or 2 other people just to give me the thumbs up, and then we're good to go. I don't need to watch you play. I don't know anything, so I go with the more experienced opinions, and then from there. I got Jake his deal with Greenville.
Dave has gotten me every contract besides FC that I've had besides FC Edmonton, and that was the worst move of my career. So from now on, I'm only listening.
That's awesome.
I'm listening to Dave at all.
I emailed Chris Lewis.
Yep.
That's right, because Chris told me, because didn't he work for Binghamton at one point?
Yeah. Chris was yeah. Chris was the assistant AD. Yeah.
Chris replied back and CC John, and then I spoke to John, which I was like, I actually was a little like, in awe there because, I watched John's a little bit older, not much, but just a little bit older than me. And like, I watched him, from the beginning of his career, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm talking to John Harks while I'm at work about Jake's potential contract, so it was a little like, that's pretty cool. And then from there, I put Jake and John in touch, and then from there they took it off, because I'm not really his agent, so I just try to help get opportunities. Yeah. Advocate, I'm the advocate.
That's right.
I'm not a real agent.
He gets paid in bobbleheads and jerseys, so
love that.
Well, thank you very much for Marion for coming on to the Advocates Soccer Podcast. You're most definitely an elite guest. We only have elite guests because we are the Elite Soccer Podcast in all of soccer podcasting and all of podcasting in general.
I love that. I love every bit of that. Thank you. No, seriously though, Jake, this was a really good idea. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully we can we'll interact with it on our end as well, social wise. So it'll be fun.
Cool. Thank you, Marion, for coming on.
Yeah.
Dave, until next time.
Yes.
I'm the athlete.
I'm the advocate.
And we're
the Aristocrats.